season finale of Maul Shadow Lord. Let's get into it. On this channel, I've had some nitpicks about the show, the screen time problem and the power scale problem. But sitting there watching the finale on May the 4th, I genuinely felt something that I haven't felt come from Star Wars since The Mandalorian Season 2, when I saw Luke Skywalker on screen for the first time. It felt like Star Wars again, real Star Wars. The choices had weight. The show actually trusts the audience to follow what's happening. And we got every Star Wars fan's dream of Darth Vader versus Maul. So let's get right into episode 9 and 10, because this could genuinely be a course correction for the franchise. Episode 9, titled Strange Allies, opens with Maul reaching out to Dryden Vos, the Paul Bettany character from Solo. Here he's voiced by Scott White. Vos proposes a deal to Maul. Take out the leader of Crimson Dawn, Rintaro, and Dryden Vos will help Maul escape off the planet Janix. And if you've seen Solo, which I'm sure you probably have, you already know that this power dynamic eventually shifts. Vos thinks he's running things, but Maul is actually the one pulling the strings from Dathomir. I like that there's so many possibilities to go from here. This is only the beginning of where Maul actually takes over the criminal underworld. I thought they did some really good character development again with Devon's character. Maul gets into Devon's head through a force connection, and Daki immediately knows what's going on. He eventually straight up tells her that Maul wouldn't be able to get into your mind without a prior connection. This is where Devon has to admit that Maul saved her and Riley in the tunnels against the Inquisitor. And this is where Daki says the line that's basically the entire theme of the episode.
Did he help you for your sake or his own?
That question is the entire show. And I love how this show is handling that, because the audience actually doesn't know. Is Maul helping Devon for her or for himself? The episode is basically a team-up episode. All of the characters team up to escape Janix from the Empire. And I love this dynamic too, because they're all there for their own reasons, but they all are trying to escape the Empire. None of them trust each other, just real tension in the show, and I love it. Lawson eventually says that he knows a different route to slip by the Empire and escape to where Dryden Vos is going to pick up Maul and the crew. They eventually get stopped by the Empire on the way there, and this is where we saw in the trailer Maul taking out the AT-ST, and it was a direct callback to the Force Unleashed games, the same exact move where he throws the lightsaber at the AT-ST, and it was awesome. Just cool. This is exactly what fans want to see. Lawson eventually leads them underground where the city of Janix is waste, so it's like a toxic acid river where they have to get across to the other side. Pretty extreme, but also pretty cool. I think these two episodes is really where the show separates itself. Every character has its own purpose, has its own role. It eventually does not go as planned, and Daki senses the Inquisitors coming. So the Inquisitors show up, and it turns into a huge fight scene. And although I disagree with Maul being as strong as the Inquisitors and losing to the Inquisitors, this fight scene was awesome. The visuals, the animation, just everything in general. Them working together, seeing Maul and Devon fighting together alongside with Daki. The other Zabrak, Icarus, goes out, sacrificing himself, taking out 3 other stormtroopers with him. He saw his brother die in the last episode, and now he goes out in the acid. And I'll even go as far to say that I liked Riley's character in this episode. I love that they're not making him like a badass fighter. They're not making him force sensitive or anything like that. I like the clear story that they're building. Lawson, you could tell that Lawson has taught him a few things about guns, so he knows how to use a blaster, but he's not overpowered. He's exactly where a normal kid would be. He would be scared. He would be like, what is going on? I love that. Just a quick scene like that where Lawson's saying, remember what I taught you with the blaster, where there's a whole backstory implied, goes so far in storytelling. They all eventually make it over the acid, RIP Spybot, and the whole episode wraps up with Rook Cass being dragged into the mist and Darth Vader coming from the shadows. I mean, we all kind of saw this coming, but it was just so cool to see, so menacing. It was amazing. And the red ignition of the lightsaber and the episode ends. Really enjoyed that episode. A couple nitpicks, like I said, I still think that Maul should be able to defeat the Inquisitors, but overall, I love this episode. Episode 10, Dark Lord picks up right where we left off. They're all about to face off with Vader. Maul versus Vader in canon for the first time ever. Like I said before, every Star Wars fan's dream, if you had any action figures growing up as a kid, you would always make Vader and Darth Maul fight each other. When Star Wars Rebels came out, I was like, finally, we're about to see it. Even though Maul's a little bit older, we're about to see it, and they never fought. The last time they were in the same room was on Naboo 14 years before this story, and the show absolutely nails it. I know some fans were mad that Vader didn't even speak the entire episode, but I don't hate that decision at all. Him just being the menacing villain that he is was perfect. And seeing the fighting styles of Vader and Maul and the Jedi coinciding was awesome. Vader's just aggressive power style was amazing. And they made Vader's power level what you would think it would be. I didn't have too much complaints about that whatsoever. Even though I think Vader, in my opinion, would just wreck them all. We have to remember this is only 1 year after Revenge of the Sith, so Vader is still probably adjusting to the suit. I was not mad at all. And he handled Maul, Daki, and Devon pretty easily, casually, wrecking them all with one hand. And the part where he knew Maul had a bad leg already and targets that exact same spot instantly was awesome. And the animation of that was just so cool. Now, I'll concede the point that people are going to make here. Maul's leg was injured. Daki and Devon are rusty after years in hiding. So this isn't peak Maul, and like I said before, this isn't peak Vader either. So we could potentially get a rematch between the two of them. And even though Devon takes on two Inquisitors at once, the same thing that Maul did, it was satisfying. Daki and Maul fighting Vader while Devon fights the two Inquisitors. This was just visually amazing. And doing a lot of thinking over this, my honest read on it is the show is prioritizing the story and dramatic tension over the canon hierarchy and what power, who would be more powerful in this situation. And I'm willing to give it a pass on this finale because it is working. Vader is feeling genuinely terrifying. If the cost of getting more finales of Star Wars shows like that is, I don't agree with every person who wins a lightsaber battle, I'm willing to pay that price every single time. Now we get into Maul's betrayal of Daki. Another moment that I think defines this show. Maul is losing. He's genuinely scared. He doesn't know what Darth Vader is. And he even says, "What are you? You're not an Inquisitor." He hears Devon screaming as the crow corners her in the temple. So Maul makes the calculated decision. He slightly force pushes Daki into Vader's blade, trying to kill him. He sacrifices the Jedi Master to save the apprentice. Because like I said in my first Maul video, as soon as the Empire kills Daki, Devon would basically be thrusted into the arms of Maul. And that's exactly what ends up happening. Vader stabs through Daki, and I'm glad we're back to lightsabers actually killing people. And Lawson is the only person in the entire galaxy who saw what happened, which I think is foreshadowing he's not dead. I think nobody believes that he's actually dead. I think in season 2, Lawson will surface and either tell Riley or Devon what he saw. Devon feels Daki die through the Force. And her reaction mirrors Obi-Wan's reaction to Qui-Gon Jinn's death in The Phantom Menace, including even the musical cues. The crow knocks her lightsaber out of her hand, and this is where Maul shows up and tosses her the red lightsaber. Then Maul and Devon start fighting the crow together, which again, I think they should instantly kill him. But that's my opinion. Just like I think the two Inquisitors should have been able to take out Devon by herself. But for the sake of the show, I don't care at all. This is when it is solidified. She is now Maul's. Vader shows up in the temple, and you can see that Maul is genuinely scared of Vader. They barely escape, having to run away, trying to use anything they can, the Force, anything to get in Vader's way so that they can escape. And they eventually escape on Vos's ship, and the episode ends with Devon looking at Maul's red lightsaber in her hands. And she looks at Maul and says,
"I'm ready."
And the camera cuts to Maul, and he just smirks. Unreal ending. This actually made me feel like Star Wars is finally coming back. So a quick rundown of what is being set up for Season 2, which is already confirmed. Maul owes Dryden Vos a hit on the Crimson Dawn leader, which is almost certainly the cold open for next season. Devon is now Maul's apprentice in everything but name, and her arc going forward is one of the most interesting things about this show. She's one of the few characters that we don't know what happens to. Will she ever find out that Maul basically sacrificed her old master? Another thing I can't wait for Season 2 for is Vader is going to have to go back to the Emperor and explain that Maul is still alive and that he escaped. And Sidious notoriously does not tolerate any rival Sith. The rule of two is non-negotiable. Then there's Lawson. Still alive in my opinion. We never saw his death actually. And he is the only one who saw the one piece of information that could destroy Maul's hold on Devon. And the first brother, Marok, was force pushed off a cliff, and I also don't think he's dead. I don't think this is going to be his death at all. I think he's going to show back up in Season 2 where Maul hopefully ends up actually killing him before the Night Sisters revive him. So look, is this show completely perfect? No, I had some of my issues with it. But here's the thing, people have nitpicks of the original trilogy too. Not everybody loved Ewoks. This is what real Star Wars feels like. This is the first new Star Wars project in years where I actually feel that. Where I'm genuinely not saying, well, for Disney Star Wars, it's good. I'm actually thinking the show is good. There's real stakes, real character development, and the villains are actually villains. But I really want to know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Drop your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. Maybe I'll make a full video on my predictions for Season 2, where I'll really get into what I think is going to happen going forward. But I want to know where you guys rank this show in the Disney Star Wars era. Let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far in the video, I thank you so much. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel because we have a lot more videos coming your way. But until then, I'm Brandon, this is Screen Wars, and we'll see you in the next one.